unity in diversity is a fact of national life. Therefore, while the management of diversity is never without challenges, we have been unrelenting in our promotion of democracy in multicultural and multi-faith setting. This is also the message that we would like to convey in the 6th Global Forum of the United Nations Alliance of Civilization, which will be held in Bali on the 29th and 30th of August. In conclusion, I would like to once again send our heartfelt greeting to Buddhists around the world and wish them a peaceful Vesak Day. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank the Executive Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, and I now invite Ambassador Han Chong-Yi, the Deputy Permanent Representative of the Republic of Korea, to deliver his statement.
Mr. Chairman, Venerable Monks, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to Ambassador Shinasini of Thailand for organizing today's celebration of Vesak Day. As we all know, we annually celebrate Vesak Day on the occasion of Lord Buddha's birthday at the United Nations. This is because we believe that Lord Buddha's messages are timeless and still relevant to the spirit and principles of the United Nations. Buddhism and the United Nations share indeed many values and causes. The UN General Assembly recognized this point when it adopted the resolution on the day of Vesak in 1999, to which the Republic of Korea was also a co-sponsor. Mr. Chairman, in Korea, Buddhism has greatly contributed to the building of national unity and harmony by providing a sense of compassion, tolerance, and coexistence. The virtues of Buddhism has been so deeply ingrained into Korean history and culture that they still serve as a good guidance for our way of life even today. More largely, humanity faces serious, multifaceted global challenges as we try to achieve the Millennium Development Goals, fight against human rights abuses, and resolve conflict. At this critical juncture, it is all the more pertinent to find insight and inspiration from the Buddha's messages in our response to such challenges. For instance, parties in conflict need to understand each other's differences with a view to avoiding violence and extremism. The international community, for their part, should step up efforts in dealing with the sufferings and human rights abuses of the people in different parts of the world, regardless of their positions and interests. Mr. Chairman, while Lord Buddha preached 26 centuries ago, his messages remain unchanged, just as valid and powerful. The founding charter of UNESCO emphasized the importance of the mind and inner being of humankind, which reads as follows, quote, "Since wars begin in the minds of man, it is in the minds of man that the defenses of peace must be constructed," unquote. In this connection, Buddha's precious messages of peace, nonviolence, humility, compassion, and respect for the dignity of life through building good and proper minds of ourselves will continue to play an important role as one of the guiding principles for the mankind in the years and ages to come. On behalf of all Korean people, I wish joyful celebration of Vesak Day for all of you. Thank you very much.
I thank the Ambassador and Deputy Permanent Representative of the Republic of Korea for his statement. And now I invite Mr. Nguyen Truc Ba, Deputy Permanent Representative for the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, to deliver his statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Venerable monks, excellencies, and gentlemen, once a year we all gather here at the United Nations to celebrate the most important day for Buddhists around the world, the birth, the enlightenment, and passing away of the Buddha. And on this occasion, I would like to thank His Excellency Ambassador Norajit Shinawseni and the Permanent Mission of Thailand for their great efforts in organizing this event. Venerable monks, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday last week, the official UN Vesak Day 2014 celebrations were closed in Vietnam. This was the second time Vietnam had hosted this celebration of the UN Vesak Day. On this occasion, some 15,000 participants, including 1,500 international Buddhist leaders, scholars, and practitioners from 95 countries and territories gathered in Vietnam. With the priority theme, Buddhist perspective towards achieving the United Nations Millennium Development Goals, the event was the commitment of Buddhism in general and the Vietnamese Buddhism in particular to join in hands with the international community in finding solutions to the global crisis, conflicts, and disputes, implementing the United Nations Millennium Development Goals, and steering the world onto a more sustainable and equitable path of development. Since Buddhism was first introduced into Vietnam more than 12,000 years ago, with its teachings of love, compassion, joy, and tolerance, Buddhism had easily and naturally integrated into Vietnamese folk beliefs, touching not only on our philosophy, ideal, morality, literature, art, music, and architecture, but also our culture, society, manner, and customs in Vietnam. Symbol of Buddhism can be easily seen in the daily life of Vietnamese people. The government of Vietnam has always given favorable conditions for Buddhism to make Lord Buddha teachings more accessible and widely known, and to uphold and preserve the national cultural identity. Looking back in the long history of more than 2,000 years, Buddhism has not only been closely linked with the survival of our nation, underwent up and downs of the Vietnamese history, but have also been significantly contributing to the maintaining and preserving of peace, stability in our society. Its sense of benevolence and tolerance is of the great support to peaceful coexistence and friendly relation between Vietnam and other countries. Venerable monks, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the teaching of Lord Buddha are still relevant today as they were 26 century years ago. The implementation of these, of course, is an immensely challenging journey that calls for a committed engagement of each and every member of the international community. And in this journey, I can assure you of the readiness and devotion of the Vietnamese Buddhists and people to work with all other people all over the world to translate the Lord Buddha teaching into reality and to practice the good deeds, and in order to attain Nirvana right here on earth. And happy Vesak Day. Thank you all.
Thank the Deputy Permanent Representative of Vietnam. And I now invite Mr. Nauto Hisachima to deliver a statement on behalf of the Permanent Mission of Japan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Venerable monks, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to have this opportunity on this occasion of the ceremony for the International Day of Vesak. I would like to thank His Excellency Ambassador Shiaseni in Thailand and the Permanent Mission of Thailand for taking the lead in organizing this event. And today I'm delighted that representatives of Japanese Buddhist temples and organizations in the United States join us here today. Buddhism was first introduced into Japan in the middle of the 6th century. After reaching Japan, it became deeply rooted in Japanese society and culture. On this day of Vesak in Japan, Buddhist temples all over the country hold Hanamatsuri, or meaning flower festivals. At these festivals, people pour amacha, or a sweet beverage, prepared from a variety of hydrangea flowers, on small Buddha statues decorated with flowers, as if bathing a newborn baby. Many children in Japan look forward to Vesak as a chance to drink this amacha. Buddhism itself is a faith characterized by a spirit of tolerance, harmony, and understanding. And it has expanded around the world in a way that is respectful of other traditions. The rights to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, as enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and other human rights instruments, are values that we cherish and believe deeply. Japan supports and is actively participating in a number of initiatives the United Nations has undertaken this year, including the activities of UNESCO and the relevant General Assembly resolutions on the promotion of interreligious dialogue and elimination of intolerance. And in conclusion, I'd like to reiterate our sincere congratulations of this day of Vesak celebrations. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the Mission of Japan for his statement and best wishes. Excellencies, dear friends, we have heard the last of our speakers. Finally, from Thailand, I'm happy to present to you a short video on how Vesak Day is celebrated in our country. And here I would like to thank the members of the missions, local staff, for putting together this video. It is an in-house, or in this case, an in-mission production, so enjoy.
The Day of Vesak. Vesak Hapusa Day, also known internationally as the Day of Vesak, was introduced to Thailand around 700 years ago during the Sukhothai period. Thailand, or Siam at that time, had very close religious ties with Sri Lanka. For this reason, Buddhist monks from Sri Lanka came to preach and propagate Buddhism in the kingdom, and brought along with them the Day of Vesak observation and celebration. During the Sukhothai period, the people of Sukhothai celebrated the Day of Vesak by observing the 5 precepts of Buddhism, listening to sermons in temples, making offerings to monks, and giving charity to the poor, the orphans, the helpless, and the disabled. The Day of Vesak is one of the most important days in Buddhism because of 3 important incidents in the life of Buddha: the birth, the enlightenment, and the passing away, which miraculously fall on the same month and day. Therefore, each year, Buddhists throughout the world, including those in Thailand, would gather to perform worship to recollect the wisdom, purity, and compassion of Buddha. In present-day Thailand, the Day of Vesak is observed as a national holiday. On the Day of Vesak, devout Buddhists in Thailand will observe not merely the 5 precepts that all Buddhists should observe on a daily basis, but an additional 3 precepts. Namely, refrain from eating after midday, refrain from dancing, singing music, going to see entertainment, wearing garlands, using perfumes, and beautifying the body with cosmetics, and refrain from lying on a high or luxurious sleeping place. During the day, devout Buddhists visit temples to meditate and listen to sermons, and to make merits to the poor and the needy. Very devout Buddhists would make offerings to monks for at least a week prior to the Day of Vesak to help them with attuning their minds to the path of Buddhism. In the evening, Buddhists would go to temples for candlelit processions, walking around the main shrine of a temple 3 times to remind oneself of the 3 jewels of Buddhism: Buddha, his teachings or Dhamma, and the community of Buddhist monks and nuns or Sangha.
Venerable monks, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of this year's celebrations of the International Day of Vesak 2014. We have heard from a total of 21 speakers, including the President of the General Assembly and the representative of the Secretary General. So on behalf of the entire organization committee, please accept our sincere appreciation. The distinguished participants from the United Nations family, from the various missions, the monks, and the local Buddhist communities for making this year's Day of Vesak a successful and meaningful one. A holy and happy Vesak Day and a safe journey home to all of you. We hope to see you again next year, and may peace and Buddha's blessing be upon all of you. Thank you and good night.